This video is brought to you by
Auckland Photographer's Clothing.
Hi and welcome in this video course about filmmaking. Easy learn how to film. That's what this course is all about. And I chose to split the course in 3 different topics. So we start in the first chapter with all the equipment and all the basic stuff, because I would think that you are maybe into photography already, or maybe even not, but not too much into filmmaking. So I start at 0 and we go up till 100. Later in this video course we go outside. Tomorrow it will be a very hot and sunny day, so we get out very early in the morning, try to capture some good light and then some great B-roll material, some nice nature shots, and I show you what I look for when I shoot outside. And in the last chapter we will do an interview situation, almost like we do right now, but right now everything is already set. So we have the lights there, we have the camera, we have a second camera, we have a nice table, I have the sound already on my body and in the camera, and tomorrow or in the last chapter I will show you how to set everything up from the beginning till the end, that you can try it out for yourself. And we do the whole stuff with the equipment we use, but as well we try to show you a low budget scenario of all the different stuff. So let's start with all the equipment here on the table. I choose one thing from everything and explain you what it is for, what we use it for, and maybe there are some terms that you are not familiar with, so you learn some new terms, some new things. And yeah, this thing here is a shoulder rig, and you don't actually need it, but it's good to have, and we film with that whenever we want to do stable shots but without a tripod. So when we are outside, for example, when we do the B-roll stuff, we will use the shoulder tripod or the shoulder rig. I call it for myself shoulder tripod because it is almost like a tripod. It is very stable, but it's just on your shoulder. Here on that thing then is the camera, and you can film with this. And this is a cheap solution. This one is from Newer, and we bought an extra weight for the back. And it works pretty fine. We have it now for almost 6 months or something. You can get much more expensive shoulder rigs, but this is a good starting point. You don't actually need it, but it's a good to have. This right here is a lamp, an LED lamp, and you can put it on your camera. That thing I used a lot of times when I did videos for the radio, when we were at exhibitions or when we did interviews or we were at events or something. You have always a nice light from the front, and it's pretty inexpensive, but it makes a huge difference in quality when you film with that little lamp. And the great thing is, it is with batteries. You can do it as well with a V-mount battery pack, but with normal batteries, you can just use it, you can attach it to a tripod, and you can even use it to light an interview situation or to light even a photography shooting or filmmaking setup. We did it just a few days ago. We were in a cave and it was very dark, and we had this light with us, and we made a perfect lighting setup only with this small little Amazon light. So it's a great thing to have as a filmmaker. A question a lot of people have, I would think, is which camera should I use for filmmaking? And there is actually no right or wrong. You can go from low to very high, and you may see a difference or you won't see a difference. There are some specifications in a camera that might be great for filmmaking, but there are things in the camera that are maybe not even useful for you. So when I started to make films or made my first film that I can remember, it was when I graduated from school, maybe 10 or 11 years ago, and I made a small movie for all my classmates about the last year we had in school, and then I showed the movie when it was actually the time for the exams and all the stuff, and it was a nice thing, but I filmed everything like with a very small pocket camera, even smaller than an A6000. It was almost like a cell phone or something. The quality was not good, but the movie was cool because everybody saw themselves in the movie, and in the end it's all about what you want to say or what the audition is like for the movie, and yeah, you can do it with like every camera. That's why I have a cell phone here. An iPhone, for example, a 6S, which I have here, is great for filmmaking when you have nothing else but your iPhone. You have HD, you have 4K, you have 120, even 240 frames per second. What that means, I will tell you later in this course. You can do great stuff only with an iPhone. The disadvantage with an iPhone is you can't change your lenses, so you have to stick with the lens that is inside of your cell phone. We have the A6000 here by Sony with a 12mm Samyang lens, and this is actually the combo I film a lot of times when I do vlogs, so I film myself. Then I as well attach a microphone. This is a microphone by Sony. It's a stereo microphone, and it's almost like a shotgun, but not really a shotgun microphone because you can split it in two ways. So it's actually just a stereo microphone, and you can attach it to the shoe, the hot shoe of your camera, because the A6000 doesn't have a mic in. It has just HDMI and some multi-cable, but with this thing you can put external sound, or just a better sound quality in the camera. So this is actually the setup I film a lot of times in vlog situations. And this is the camera I will do the most stuff in this video course, to just show you that you can do all stuff with whatever camera you have. So you won't be an expert only because you have an expert camera. You have to learn maybe the skills on a smaller camera. But when you have a great camera, no problem, you can do it as well. But maybe it's even harder to learn it on a bigger camera because you have more options to choose from. This camera I filmed a lot with. It's a 6D by Canon. I as well filmed with a 600D, 550D. I think in English it's called different. Those are the Rebel cameras, T3i Rebel, whatever it is. I have no idea. But this, the 6D, we filmed a lot of stuff with this, and you can do it as well with a mirror camera. So it don't have to be a Sony or mirrorless camera. You can do it with every camera. That's what I just want to explain.
Hi, I'm Albert Ross, professional landscape photographer, and this is my Hawkland Parker Pro jacket. This red color is my personal signature edition. This is a great jacket system for outdoor photography. Why? It has multiple layers, not just this layer. It has a fleece layer, a mid layer, and this outer layer. It's very waterproof, it's windproof, and it's suitable for any kind of weather conditions. Anyone can wear it, but it's a jacket system aimed at photographers, meaning it has some very nice features like this little pocket with my lens cloth attached here. I can quickly take it out for my glasses or my lens or my filters. Then it has really big pockets here for accessories, and it has a lot of nice pockets inside for batteries, smartphone, SD cards. It's very convenient for me as a photographer to use, not only because of the weather, but also because of all these nice features.
Now for a short time with a free t-shirt for orders over $150 at www.hawkland.us.
Hawkland, photographer's clothing.
This is the A7R II. I had this camera with me on my camper trip through Scandinavia and filmed with that. Right now we are filming with an A7S II, and this is an A6300. So this is a full frame, this is an APS-C camera, but in the end it will all match. Then I have two different lenses right here, and with lenses in filmmaking, it's just like with lenses in photography. There is no right or wrong. You can do like great interview situations on 16mm, but you can do them as well on 200mm. It's always a different look and always depends on your own taste and what you want to say. So you can do like great things, great movies, great short movies, interview situations, music videos, all on 12mm. So it's totally possible, but you can do them as well on, let's say, 24 or even 200mm. This thing here is a variable ND filter, so you can change the intensity of the neutral density filter. And in photography, a variable ND filter is not a great thing because I cannot calculate which shutter speed or anything I need. But in filmmaking, it's a great thing, and you definitely need it when you want to have smooth cinematic movements, because there the shutter speed is essential. And when we will be outside with the B-roll stuff, I will show you what the shutter speed does to your images, or to smoother images, to movements in images, because there the shutter speed is very important. This thing here is a Sennheiser G3, and those are my old transmitters when it comes to voice. And right now we're using the newer version. It's called AVX, also from Sennheiser. This is a German company, but it's something like the industry standard. So like everybody in TV productions or wherever use those things, or even the more expensive things, but for my purpose and in most of the situations, those are totally fine. They cost something around 700 euro, so quite an expensive price for the beginning of filmmaking, but we have some low budget things like this microphone or that microphone as well. This is, for example, a thing that you just attach to your cell phone, and then this thing to your chest, and you can record with your iPhone or with your Android phone the sound, and then match it later in post-processing. Okay, but this thing works like that. This thing gets attached to the camera, for example here, in the mic in, and this thing here gets on the body, and I have the thing here as well. Here's the microphone. Over a cable it goes in the transmitter. This is in my pocket, and the transmitter sends it to the receiver, and the receiver in the camera, and then on your memory card, and that's actually how the whole thing works. This thing here is a tripod, as you can see, and there's not much difference to a photography tripod. The only difference is the head. And this thing here is a fluid head, and it works like this. There's oil inside, and when I do it like this, it has smooth movements. The more expensive the head is, the smoother the movements usually are, and the heavier the tripod usually is, except from carbon, I don't know what it's called. That is lighter, but also more expensive. And this is a very low budget solution. It costs something around 100, 150 euro, and has a fluid head, and you can travel with it perfect because it's not too heavy. We have a heavier solution right there. With that we are filming. This costs something around 200, but it's more stable. It has a more fluid head, but it's also heavier, so not too good for traveling. And this little beauty here is a so-called gimbal, and this is an electronic gimbal, so you can put your camera on that thing here, and then you turn on the button, and because everything is electronic and magnetic in this thing, it all stays centered all the time, no matter what movement I do. So I can do it like this, or can even jump or run or do whatever I want, and we will do it later when we are outside. And the camera always stays in the center and is always shake-free, and that is a very, very great thing. 2 or 3 years ago, those things were very expensive. I have a DJI Ronin that was the cheapest solution out there in the market. It's much huger, and this is now very small, costs something around 1,000 euro. You can perfectly travel with that, and it can even hold weight up to 2.5 kilograms, so an A7R2 or A7S2 with a bigger lens is totally stable on that thing. And this is just a great thing when you want to go more into professional filmmaking, but as always, I will show you a low budget thing for that here as well. Almost done. Memory cards. Very important topic in filmmaking. Don't make the mistake and get too cheap SD cards or memory cards, because when you have a too cheap or not fast enough memory card, it might happen that you cannot film in a certain format, or that your recording session just stops. And that is a very bad thing that can happen when you are like in an action scenario. You can only do once, you hit the record button and then just stops, and the thing says something like we cannot film anymore because whatever. And that is usually of the memory card. So this is a memory card. It has 30 megabytes per second, 8 gigabyte, and 8 gigabyte is not much when you want to do filmmaking. So you need something around 32 gigabyte or even 64 gigabyte. We usually, when we do filmmaking, it's totally depending on the project, using one SD card 64 gigabyte per day. So, and we don't film like with 2 cameras or 3 cameras, but only with 1 camera. So you can just calculate how much of material you will have after 1 week of filming or something. So this is a Sony SD card, and I bought this because 1 year ago it was not possible to film with the A7S in 4K with not a Sony SD card. Now they changed it with an update, but 1 or 2 years ago it was not possible, and we still have those SD cards. They were quite expensive, something around 70 euro, so €1 almost per gigabyte on that card, but they are worth the price. They don't make any troubles, and they are fast enough to film in 4K on the SD card, in 120 frames on the SD card. So whenever you have a big material, a lot of frames, you need a faster SD card. Those I can recommend as well here. SanDisk Extreme Plus 32 gigabyte with 80 megabyte per second is totally good, and everything below you might have some problems depending on the camera and on the format you're filming with. The last thing, of course, is this thing, an action. But we don't need it for this video course. It's just a nice thing to have here for the whole look thing. All right, that's it with this chapter here. In the next chapter, I will grab the A6000 and we will take a look in the camera and I'll show you what settings I choose to get nice movies. This video of my course Learn Filmmaking for Beginners from the year 2017 is part of my photography legacy. Over a period of 5 years, I will publish my courses from learnfromband.com for free and with ads here on YouTube. So everyone can benefit from my knowledge regardless of budget. Subscribe to the channel now and spread the word. Do you want all 9 courses from the last 10 years immediately, bundled together and without advertising at a super affordable price? Then go to learnfromband.com and get the XXL Bundle as an instant download or stream via the website at www.learnfromband.com. More than 22 hours of the finest learning content on photography, filming and image editing in all levels of skill. Link is in the description and in the comments, and also check out the sales section with my signature tripods, ND filters and books. Everything is on sale up to 60% off as long as stocks last. Thank you for your support. Videos from the courses are published every Friday at 5:30 p.m. German time. My name is Jaworskyj and I wish you all some really good photos.